భగవాన్ బాబావారి దివ్య పాదపద్మములకు ఇచ్చట దేశ విదేశాల నుండి చేరినటువంటి అసంఖ్యాకమైనటువంటి సాయి భక్తులకు నమస్కారాలు. ఈ గురు పౌర్ణమి సందర్భంగా మహాసమాధి ఆరాధనోత్సవ కార్యక్రమంలో అంతర్భాగంగా విద్యార్థులు చక్కని సంగీతంతో రమ్యమైనటువంటి సాహిత్యంతో జోడించి మేళవించి చేసిన గీతాలాపనకు సాయి వందన కార్యక్రమమునకు భగవాన్ బాబావారి ఆశీస్సులను అర్థిస్తూ స్వామి యొక్క కృపా కటాక్షములు మీ పైన ఎల్లకాలం ఉండాలని స్వామిని ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాను. చక్కని కార్యక్రమాన్ని అందించిన మీకు ఇక్కడ పెద్దలందరి తరఫున కూడా ధన్యవాదాలు. ఏనాడో చెప్పారు స్వామి, నా సమయంలో 3 వంతులు ఈ కళాశాల విద్యార్థులకు కేటాయిస్తున్నాను అన్నారు. అదిగో దాని ఫలితమే ఈనాటి కార్యక్రమము. May God bless you. We really appreciate your program and you have done a good job. May Bhagavan shower his choicest blessings on all the participants this morning. Now I have pleasant duty to introduce you 2 of eminent speakers who will address us. In the first place, we have Mr. Leonardo Guta from Argentina. Leonardo Guta is a psychologist and a successful businessman too at the same time, and he is a member of the Prashanti Council, and he is one of the founding members of Sai Organization Argentina. It's interesting to note that he is one of the founder members of Sri Satya Sai Trust in Argentina. For information, he is the first president of Latin American Central Council. Now I request Leonardo Guta to address this gathering. Brother Leonardo Guta.
I offer my humble pranams at the beloved lotus feet of our Guru, our Master, our Lord, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, who is here now, permeating everything and in the heart of each one of us. Dear brothers and sisters, Sai Ram to all of you. Let me ask you a very, very important question. Why are we here today? We may think that we are here to offer our gratitude to our Master, to our Guru. This is true. But there are many other reasons why we are here today. We are here today because we have an incredible good fortune. On my first trip to India to see Bhagavan, I heard about him and I wanted to know who he was. So I came here. He was on a tour, and he was supposed to go to Chennai, at that time called Madras. I went there and I waited for him. The day he was supposed to arrive, I was seated with more than 50,000 people waiting for him. No one knew when he was going to arrive. And suddenly my heart started to beat very intensely. I thought, what is happening to me? I'm having a heart problem. A few seconds later, Swami's car arrived. Since that day, every time I knew that Swami was coming out for darshan because my heart started to beat very, very rapidly. I knew that my heart has recognized him much earlier than my mind. That is why it is so important to follow Swamis when he says that we have to follow our heart. It will always lead us to the right place. On that same trip, I wanted to introduce myself to Swami. I thought that he didn't know me and I wanted to let him know who I was. One day there was a public meeting in Abbotsbury, and I had the good fortune again to be seated not far from him. And I thought, well, now is my opportunity. So when he was seated there on his chair to see the cultural program, I just stood up and went to him and presented to him my visiting card. No one stopped me, and Swami looked at me, he smiled, he took the card and he said, "You are very lucky." Yes, dear brothers and sisters, I am very lucky, and so are we all. We are very, very, very lucky. That is why we are here. Swami says that we have three good fortunes. The first one is to be born as human beings. Out of the 8.4 million forms of life, this is the most difficult to have. But he says that there is a second fortune, even more difficult to get. That is to be born as human being when an avatar manifests on earth. This, Swami says, is very, very difficult. But there is a third good fortune, not only to be alive when he comes to earth, but to know about him, to recognize him. I would add a fourth good fortune, and this is why we are here today. It's not only to be human beings, not only to be born when he comes to earth, not only to know about his manifestation, but to have been selected by him to be his disciples. This is what we are sharing here. We don't realize this incredible good fortune. We don't measure its real dimension. We take it for granted. But let me tell you that we have been struggling for many, many lives to be here today. Some of us have traveled thousands of kilometers, of miles to come here. But let me tell you, all of us, even the residents of Prashanti Nilayam, have traveled thousands of lives to be here today. We are all here because we have received the divine touch. Many, many lives ago, Swami performed a sacred ceremony with each one of us. He made a bonding ceremony. At that day, he said yes to us. He said, "Yes, yes, yes. I will become your guru. You will be my disciple. I will be with you always. I will protect you always. I will guide you always. I will help you always. I will be with you always till you wake up and realize that you and me are one." We are here, brothers and sisters, because it is our time to say yes to him. He has said us yes, and he has accepted us. He has chosen us. Now we have to become his devotees. But I want to bring to your attention another reason why we are here. We are here because in our last life we failed. We lacked the intensity, the determination to wake up. That's why he gave us, in his infinite mercy, another chance, another opportunity. He brought us again into his fold to help us awaken, to give us this incredible opportunity. How can we achieve this goal? We have to intensify our sadhana. How can we do that? It's not just by adding more hours of service, more hours of meditation, visiting more holy places, singing more bhajans and chanting more mantras, but is to add the psych quality of love to all those activities. I would like to invite all of you, the ones that are wearing glasses and those that think that they are not wearing glasses, to throw them away. I put on the side glasses. From today onwards, please, let's wear the glasses of Sai. Those glasses that see the world, allows us to see the world as a manifestation of Sai. The eyes of Sai saw only love. He saw Sai manifested everywhere. Those glasses we have to see now, to wear now. When we wear those glasses, we will not be able to criticize anyone anymore, because we will realize that we are all one. We will realize that everyone is doing their best with their best intentions. Now is the time to say yes to Swami, to become Sai devotees. A Sai devotee is not the person who loves Sai. What is the love for him? It may be very superficial, it may be an emotional feeling. It does not matter at all. What really important is important. What makes us a real devotee is to live in such a way that we deserve his love. We have to become Sai devotees. We are here today because we have received the divine touch, the touch that transformed our lives. This is the biggest miracle of Sai. He's changing the lives, the minds and hearts of millions of people all over the world. I had the good fortune of traveling to many Latin American countries. Let me tell you, Sai organization is present everywhere. There is only one Sai organization. There is no India Sai organization or an international Sai organization. There is only one Guru, one Master, God, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. We are all his devotees. We are all trying to serve him. We are all trying to giving him our lives to try to help him to fulfill his desire, his mission. Swami has touched the heart of millions of people in so many countries, people that were not in a spiritual path. But when they heard about Swami, when they read about him, they felt something in their hearts, and they started the process of self-transformation. They started to do service to their fellow beings. They started to try to become better people. This is the biggest miracle of Sai. This is happening today. This has not stopped with the disappearance of his physical form. Those people are receiving also the divine touch. We have been brought here by Swami today in this special day of Guru Purnima, in this special day of the inauguration of his Maha Samadhi. Let me tell you a couple of stories so you are able to be a little more aware of who he is, of where we are. Many years ago, when the Sai organization in Brazil started to grow, another spiritual organization became jealous. They became concerned with the growth of the Sai organization. They decided to send to India one of their main office bearers who has spiritual powers. He has siddhis. He can see the aura of the people. He can see the spiritual beings. He can see what we cannot see. He came here to Prasanthi Nilayam to prove that Swami was a fraud. He stood here for many days, and then he went back to Brazil. He gave a public speech. 5,000 people attended because he's very, very famous in Brazil. But he's also a very, very sincere spiritual aspirant. And he said that he came to Prasanthi Nilayam and he saw that all the ashram is surrounded by angels. That angels of the highest planes are everywhere. That there was a spiritual light that was filling the whole ashram. And that when Swami came out for darshan, it was like a rain of spiritual light falling on everybody. That when Swami spoke with a person, an aura of love filled that person and dissolved all bad karma of that person. This is what this person, Professor Divaldo, said about Swami. He was able to see. Most of us are not able to see. One day, there was another Sai devotee. He used to be here 6 months per year. He was seated in the veranda, and he took a picture of Swami. Then he developed the film, and he was very surprised what he saw in the picture. So one day he had the opportunity and presented the photograph to Swami and said to him, "Swami, what is this?" I had the good fortune of having a copy of that picture in my house, of that photograph. Swami told him, "In my divine grace, I let you take a picture of the energy that is emanating from me all the time." In that picture, in that photograph, there are rays of light coming out of Swami and spirals of lights going in every direction, bigger and bigger and bigger. And also, you remember what Swami did that with his hand? In front of him was floating words, energy, like white energy floating in front of him. Whenever he did that, that energy remained floating in front of him. We never saw that. I never saw that. We only saw his physical form. but he was here, being God all the time. We have been asked, and I want to tell you something, with our physical eyes, we cannot see the incredible spiritual energy that fills this ashram. This energy is here now and will remain here forever. So please take advantage of that. Don't ever stop coming here. We have been asked if anything has changed with the disappearance of Swami's physical form. Let me tell you, everything has changed and nothing has changed. Of course, there is a change in the form. We have to go from the form to the formless. The form now is expressed in a different way, but it is completely alive. Don't think for a moment that he has died. He's alive in our hearts. His beautiful form is now alive in our hearts, and we have to have darshan within. That's the only difference for us. And also, the divine energy that he was embodied in his beautiful human body, that energy that reached us everywhere, that helped every person in any part of the world, is completely alive, is eternal. It hasn't gone anywhere, it is everywhere. This divine energy, this Sai energy, is and will always be alive, present, helping us, protecting us. This energy will be with us forever. Shirdi Sai used to say, if you look to me, I look at you. Dear brothers and sisters, please remain always looking at him. Remember his form. Think about him. He will be at our side constantly. Swami has announced many times, even in one of his last discourses, that in 28 years' time, the world will be united and in peace. We have to be not just witnesses, but active participants of this that will be the most transcendental change in human consciousness. Never before happened something that will happen now on earth. This change in human consciousness will be the result of his divine Sankalpa. Each one of us has a role to play in this mission. Yesterday finished the Sai Youth Conference. 440 youth from 70 countries were here. They conducted the conference by themselves, and they proved to us, we always used to say, you are the future of the Sai organization. Now I can tell you, they are the present of the Sai organization. I can tell you, in the evening, Sri Chakrabarti met with the Sai Youth Council and said something that touched me very intensely. He said to them that they should have fire in their belly and wings in their feet. This is a wonderful expression. We have to be filled with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means be literally filled, possessed by God. Let me tell you something. I want to give you an analogy. Each one of you, each one of us, have received a wonderful present from Sai. We are not aware of it, but we do have it. Each one of us has a Ferrari, a Formula One car. You know that car? It's a very fast one. They have won many Formula One's races. Well, that car is in the house of each one of you. The problem is, Swami has given us that car so we can reach faster the goal. The problem is that some Sai devotees are very afraid, so they go only at 20 kilometers per hour. Some are even more afraid and they have their feet on the brake. Some are even more confused, they put reverse. But there are many, most of them, all of you, who have confidence in Swami and press the accelerator at full speed. This is what we have to do. We have to go forward with full energy to fulfill his Sankalpa. He said, may all the worlds be happy, be in peace. We have to work, we have to take advantage of this sacred opportunity of being born at this time, of having been selected by him as his disciples, and tell him, Swami, Use me as you want. I am here for you. It was my first trip to India. I was here in Prashanti Nilayam. From Madras, I came here. And one day I was completely overwhelmed by him. I knew in my heart that he was God, that he was a Purna avatar. I was in my room, and I was at that time holding a position in another spiritual organization. I was vice president of another organization. And suddenly I said, I cannot be anywhere but with Swami. He's the Purna avatar. He's God in human form. So I have to surrender fully to him. And I took a piece of paper and I wrote my resignation to that position in that organization, saying, I have found the avatar. I'm surrendering to him. I cannot belong any longer in that organization. I put this in the altar I had in my room, and I went to sleep. In the morning, I came for darshan. Swami came out, and instead of the usual round, I was seated somewhere back in the sun. Instead of that usual round, he came out from the mandir and came straight to me and stood in front of me and told me, yes, this afternoon I will see you. I have said yes to him the last night, and he came in the morning and replied, yes, I will see you. When darshan was over, I thought that I could go and sit in front of the interview room waiting for the afternoon darshan. Sebas told me, no, it's not like that. You have to come back in the afternoon, Swami will have to call you again. I thought that Seva didn't like my face. I said, he's spoiling my opportunity, my first darshan. But I couldn't argue with him, so I just left, and I was very disappointed, very sad. I thought Swami will not remember. Even if he remembers, he will not find me. And I was filled with those thoughts. Afternoon darshan came. Swami came out, and from the veranda, he didn't look for me. He just raised his hand and looked straight at me. And from here, he said, you. And it was so strong, his voice, that I came to him. I was almost trembling. And I said, yes, Swami, yes. And he said the most wonderful word. I know that you know. He said, go. And I asked him, Swami, can I bring all the Argentinian group? He said, yes. So I got my first interview. In the interview, he was talking to us, and suddenly he stopped and looked at me and told me all what I had thought since the morning, that he was not going to remember, that he was not going to find me, everything. And then he approached me, and he said something in my ear that I will never forget. And this was not just for me. This was for all of you. Please don't forget what Swami told me. He said, I will never disappoint my devotees. Beloved brothers and sisters, he will never disappoint us. Let's be careful not to disappoint him. Let's not fail the appointment with him. Let's do our best to be for him, with him always. When he formed the Prashanti Council, he called the members of the Prashanti Council to his house, and there he spoke to us about what we were supposed to do. But then he said something very important. He gave us a divine command. He said, go to every corner of the world and bring my message there. This divine order is not just for the members of the Prashanti Council. It's for all of us. We have to share the joy we have. We have to share the message of redemption that Swami gave us with one and all. This is our mission. This is a mission of everyone that have met Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, that had the good fortune of knowing his message. He came to redeem all humanity. He's doing his work, but also he has chosen us to be part of his mission. Dear brothers and sisters, please do whatever you can to bring his message everywhere. Let be examples of his message. I pray that each one of us be not only ready, we are all ready. Let me tell you, we are all ready to become his messengers. And also, the time is now. The time is now. The time is now. We must just be willing. We must be willing to offer ourselves to Him. We must do the last day of our lives. We must be able to tell Him, Swami, I did my best. And He will tell us, yes, my dear son, yes, my dear daughter, you did your best. Come to me. Once I received a message from Swami, and whenever I have a meeting, I share this message. And I tell you that it's a very important spiritual practice. You can write in a piece of paper a sentence, and every morning when you wake up, read it. The sentence is the following: I'm going to die. Read it till you become very depressed. But before starting to cry, you have to read another piece of paper, another phrase. It says, not yet. Brothers and sisters, think what you have to do in this not yet time. We have to take advantage of every second of our lives. We have to become beacons of His message, beacons of His love. I pray that each one of us become torch-bearers of the divine love, that each one of us become better messengers, pure channels of His divine love. Beloved Guruji, beloved Bhagavan, I offer to you, on behalf of all your Sai devotees, our deepest gratitude for all you have given us. There is no way we can pay you back. We can only surrender to you with all our hearts, with our minds. We can surrender to your beautiful lotus feet. You are our Father, you are our Mother, you are our closest friend, you are our treasure, you are our all. You are us forever, we are yours forever. Jai Sai Ram.
May Bhagavan bless you, Brother Leonardo Guta. చక్కని సందేశాన్ని అందించి మనందరినీ ఆనందపరిచినటువంటి లెనార్డో గారికి కృతజ్ఞతలు తెలియజేస్తూ అందరికీ కూడా గ్రహించవలసిన ప్రముఖమైన విషయాలు వారి ఉపన్యాసంలో సంక్షిప్తంగా 2-3 అంశాలు మాత్రమే మీకు తెలియజేస్తాను. అర్జెంటీనా అనే దేశము వేలాది వేల మైళ్ళ దూరంలో ఉన్నటువంటిది. ఈ ప్రక్కన ఉన్నది కాదు. రోజున్నర విమానంలోనే పడుతుంది అక్కడ చేరాలంటే. అంత దూరం నుంచి వచ్చినటువంటి వాళ్ళు ప్రపంచంలో అన్ని దేశాల నుండి, సుదూర తీరాల నుండి ఆకర్షించిన దైవము భగవాన్ శ్రీ సత్సాయిబాబా. కొండలపై, లోయలలో, అడవి ప్రదేశాలలో ఎక్కడా మనం ఒంటరి కాదు, ప్రక్కనే సాయిబాబా ఉన్నారు. కనుక ఆ అనుభవాలన్నీ కూడా సుదీర్ఘంగా లెనార్డో గారు మనకు వివరించడం జరిగింది. అన్నిటికంటే ఆశ్చర్యపరిచింది నాకేది అంటే, ఆరాధన చేస్తూ ఉంటాం, భగవంతుణ్ణి అర్చిస్తూ ఉంటాం, మన కోరికలు నెరవేర్చుకుంటూ ఉంటాం. కానీ భగవాన్ బాబావారు మన కోరికలు నెరవేర్చి, మన ఆశలు తీర్చి, కలలు పండించి, మనలో ఉన్న చైతన్యాన్ని ప్రకోపించి, దివ్యత్వాన్ని గుర్తింపచేసి అద్వైత అనుభవాన్ని ప్రసాదించిన వారు భగవాన్ శ్రీ సత్సాయిబాబా వారు. వారు చెప్పినటువంటి విషయాలే తమకు తెలియజేస్తున్నాను. అందులో ఎక్కడ అర్జెంటైనా వారు మాట్లాడే స్పానిష్ భాష, అందులో వారు ఉదహరించింది వివేక చూడామణిలో చెప్పింది మనుష్యత్వం, ముముక్షుత్వం, మహాపురుష సంశ్రయ అన్న విషయాన్ని వివేక చూడామణి నుండి అర్జెంటైనా వాడు మనకు చెప్పడం. అది ఎవరికి సాధ్యమో భగవాన్ బాబా వారికే సాధ్యము, ఎవరికి సాధ్యమైన విషయం కాదు అన్న విషయం మీ దృష్టిలో తీసుకొస్తున్నాను. అనేకమైన లీలలు చెప్పి ఉన్నారు. అందులో నాకు ఎంతో ఆశ్చర్యం అయిపోయింది. స్వామి అన్న మాట మొదటి ఇంటర్వ్యూలో అన్న మాట, వారు విన్న మాట మరొకసారి మీకు తెలియజేస్తాను. దయచేసి గమనించండి. ఇంటర్వ్యూలు వ్యక్తిగతములు కావు. ఆ ఇంటర్వ్యూలో సందేశములు సార్వజనీనములు, విషకాలికములు, సర్వజన సమ్మతమైనటువంటివి. ఎంత మాట అన్నారంటే, నా భక్తులను, దయచేసి వినండి, నా భక్తులను ఏనాడు నేను నిరాశపరచను అన్నారు భగవాన్. ఆ మాటను వారు తెలియచేశారు. ఎంతో ఆనందంగా ఉన్నది. మరొక విషయాన్ని కూడా తెలియజేశారు. సాయి భక్తులుగా, సాయి సంస్థలలో ఉన్నటువంటి కార్యకర్తలుగా చేయవలసిన కర్తవ్యాన్ని భగవాన్ తెలియజేస్తూ ఒక మాట వారితో అన్నారట. మీ యొక్క అనుభవాన్ని అందరితో పంచుకోండి. మీ అనుభవాన్ని స్వామి ఉపన్యాసాలను కూడా తెలియజేశారు. ప్రశాంతులను మనకు ఇచ్చేసి స్వామిని సందర్శించి స్వామి యొక్క సంభాషణను ఆలకించి పొందినటువంటి దివ్యమైనటువంటి అనుభవములు సర్వులతో పంచుకోండి. ప్రబోధ ప్రచారములు సలుపండి. సత్యసాయి అద్వితీయమైన మహత్తరమైన సందేశమును చాటి చెప్పుటయే మన యొక్క కర్తవ్యము అని మీ అందరికీ తెలియజేస్తున్నాను. థ్యాంక్ యూ లెనార్డో ఫర్ యువర్ నైస్ టాక్. Now I call upon the second speaker of this morning. We see him very busy, actively running hither and thither, and there's no area he has not touched. There's no wing of the organization to which he is new. He is an expert in every wing of the organization, quite an young man, very well known, a dynamic personality. He is Nimish Pandya from Mumbai. Nimish Pandya is a member of Sri Satya Sai Trust, District President, Mumbai, and member of International Faculty, Sri Satya Sai Education. And Nimish Pandya is very much interested in cultural programs, organizing service activities, medical camps, and did a lot for improvement of study circles in the state of Maharashtra. We speak of, in this electronic age, 2-in-1, 3-in-1, all-in-one. Nimish Pandya will now talk to us. Nimish Pandya.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering my most humble and loving pranams to our most revered Bhagwan, respected elders, brothers and sisters, and dear students. I must thank Professor Anil Kumar for such an introduction. But I must remind myself that in the game of snakes and ladders, the snake at 99 is the most dangerous snake. And spirituality must remember that snake can never let you go to 100 from 98. I keep that in mind, but I am full of gratitude to him because he is born out of love, he lives in love, and I'm sure his end is also going to be in pure love. What a beautiful day today. The day of Guru Purnima and the conjunction with the unveiling of the Mahasamadhi. Listening to my young friends here today and sitting in the corner there, I could only envisage and experience the massive and immense love that the Creator has for all of us sitting here today, for the entire mankind that is around in the world today, because He, out of His immense compassion, immense love, decided to take the form of the most beautiful avatar that humankind has ever seen in the form of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. An avatar who, out of pure love, was impatient to give all of us the ultimate truth, the ultimate knowledge that even the rishis could never achieve after years and years of penance. So much was the love of Bhagwan for each one of us. It was for the first time in the history of mankind, brothers and sisters, that we realized that an avatar came on the face of this earth not to make each one of us his follower, I dare say. He never wanted us to become his followers. He was impatient to tell us that not only he is God, but you also are God, and that is our destiny, and he wanted us to live that destiny and achieve it in this birth itself. Such haste and such love and compassion never seen before. The second most beautiful thing that Bhagwan did, first time in the history of mankind, was to disclose the simple address of God. Man ran helter-skelter to temples, mosques, gurdwaras, and different places in search of God. But Bhagwan came and told us, look Bangaru, look nowhere else. I am right there sitting in your heart and dealing with everything that you have to do. And the third most important thing that Bhagwan told us was very creative. He said, not only I am residing in you and I stay inside your heart, but I, as the same God that resides in you, resides in the heart of each and every one of us. And what a beautiful goal setting that God did for us. It was Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba who for the first time has undertaken a massive evaluation and a massive valuation exercise of making man the prime creation, where we have created a world where everything else is valuable and we are most invaluable. Bhagwan changed that completely and made us the most valuable, and everything else the least valuable in our lives is the gift and the grace of Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. Today indeed is a great day when we just unveiled the Mahasamadhi. Ostensibly, we are all here at a function to unveil the Mahasamadhi. But I think if you look back and think back, it is not we who have unveiled the Mahasamadhi. It is Bhagwan who has lifted the veil of ignorance from all our minds today. And that is a symbol of this Mahasamadhi today. This Mahasamadhi is a remembrance, is a reminder to mankind of what Bhagwan said and what Bhagwan expected out of each one of us. Bhagwan said that, remember, I'm inside you. You look at that Mahasamadhi and we cannot forget that. Bhagwan said that I am the doer. You look at the Mahasamadhi and you cannot forget that. Bhagwan said, I reside in everyone, and therefore look at love with everyone, and you cannot forget that. This is a unique Mahasamadhi. Never before it has ever happened. This Mahasamadhi is not a structure of marble and stone. This is a living Mahasamadhi. It breathes every moment and will continue breathing every moment of our lives. I am remembered of the dhuni, the fire that was lit by Shirdi Baba in the Shirdi temple. Shirdi's avatar is remembered by the dhuni where people go and take ash. But this Mahasamadhi has no dhuni, but it has a very unique dhuni. Because when Bhagwan said that my breath is your devotion is my breath, and therefore this Samadhi which is going to breathe continuously for ages and ages to come is going to be fed by your devotion and my devotion that continuously goes for ages and ages to come. But the question remains, what is that devotion that we are going to offer to the Samadhi every time that we come here? It was years back, in his young form as a young lad, that Bhagwan defined devotion for the first time. And he didn't define it as jap or tap or dhyan or bhajan. He defined devotion as that in a human being. He defined that as a human being, where the human being is at peace always, both in happiness and sorrow. And that samabhav was the devotion that Bhagwan defined and expected from all of us. Today, brothers and sisters, it's a challenge for all of us to ensure that we retain our peace, both in happiness and sorrow at all times, because that is the breath, that is the devotion that Bhagwan is expecting out of all of us. It's an amazing saga. Bhagwan's words have not to be taken lightly, because Bhagwan often said that I do not say anything half-heartedly, and nor do I say anything that I don't mean, because my words have the power of my presence, and therefore every word that Bhagwan says has to come true, and let there be no doubt in the minds of anyone at all. The challenge today, on the eve of the unveiling of the Mahasamadhi, is to ensure that all devotees around the world shun one great thing, and that is fear. Because Bhagwan says, if you have the slightest fear, you don't have faith in me. And we all know that we have faith immensely in the teachings of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. And therefore, that fear has no place in our lives. Many questions were asked whether Bhagwan has left and Bhagwan has not left. How can he leave ever when he was always there, he is there, and he always will be there? Bhagwan, as my young students pointed out to us repeatedly, has guaranteed that he is going to be with us at all times. And let there be no doubt in the minds of people anywhere in the world that Bhagwan and Bhagwan's mission will continue. Yes, the question comes, Bhagwan has done what he has to do. What do we do is a big question mark. I have a short story to share with you, which has immensely touched my heart when I heard it from another brother from Malaysia. It was Confucius, the great Chinese saint, who was traveling once with his disciples from one place to another place. And in those days, there were no computers and there were no pens and writings. And the message that Confucius gave to his disciples was all written in a scroll. And these scrolls were carried with them wherever the master went. One such moment in the northern regions of the Arctic, when Confucius was traveling with his disciples from one place to another place, as the cavalcade crossed, the thin ice cracked at the moment when the cart which was carrying the entire message of Confucius was traveling, and lo and behold, the entire cart carrying the message of Confucius fell inside ice-cold water. The disciples were stunned. Confucius stood back. The disciple looked to Confucius, waiting for instruction. Confucius was quiet. The disciples look at the master looks at the disciple, and nobody moves. There is one disciple who realized what had happened and decided that he had to do something. He decided and he jumped into ice-cold water below the sleet of ice and started going in and picking up one scroll and bringing it back. And as he picked up one scroll and brought it back, the water was ice-cold. The other disciples are telling the master, "Master, stop him. He will die inside the ice-cold water." Master did not say anything at all. Ultimately, when the last scroll was brought up in ice-cold water, that disciple kept the scroll on top, and sheer fatigue, he just collapsed in the water and died there. Again, there was a stunned silence. The disciples looking at the master looking at disciples, and then the master said one master statement. All of you promised to die for the master, but far greater is to die for the message of the master rather than the master, is what the master told the Confucius. Brothers and sisters, what is that message that we need to live for? Because Swami never wanted us to die for anything. Swami wanted us to live and live happily and full of joy, and to carry his mission further. Many people asked me, and many people said, and I'm sure a lot of people were asked, what happens now that Bhagwan has gone away? Why has Bhagwan gone away? If Bhagwan decided to leave his physical mortals and physical coil, I think it was a plan which he had in mind. Why? If dare I ask, and my answer is very simple. Because whether we had faith or not is another question. But Bhagwan had faith in every devotee of his, that now they are ready to face the world, and he must take a back seat and give us the front seat, so that the world of tomorrow will see thousands and millions of Satya Sai, and not only one Satya Sai, was the confidence that the Master had in all one of us. Let it be known that the departure of the physical form of the Master is not an incident or a coincidence. It is a planned departure, where every great Guru takes a back seat when he knows that the disciples are now ready to face the world, and that is the story of Aadim. This is the confidence with which we must live, and this is the confidence with which we want to face the world right from today onwards. Brothers and sisters, many questions were asked on what is the legacy of Sri Satya Sai. Who is the inheritor of the legacy of Satya Sai? And what is it? Foolishly, the world went on in terms of material worlds. But what does the material matter to the Divine Master? What does it matter to the Master where the goddess of wealth serves his lotus feet? How does it matter to him what money is and what asset is and what estate is? Bhagwan, as we all know, had no interest in any asset or any money or any part. And this I say not for the saying, not for the saying of clarification, because this is the truth that we lived with Bhagwan for 85 years, and we know it for sure as our own experience, and we don't need anybody else to tell us this situation. The legacy of Satya Sai is indeed unique. At this stage, I must mention the father figure, the doyen. The doyen of the Satya Sai organization was the prime instrumentality through which the organization took birth, Shri Indulal Shah. I remember him last 4 to 5 years continuously, he's been asking this question to everyone who meets him. Only one question. He never says, how are you or what you are. He will only ask, what is that legacy of Satya Sai that you want to leave for the next generation that will never have the vision or the sight of Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba? What is that legacy that we should leave back? And as we were traveling last month to Calcutta, our All India President, some of the state presidents, all of us were thinking together and sat together and decided that let us decide for ourselves what is that legacy that we have to be proud about. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, some of the thoughts that emerged, which I like to place before you, are very, very immensely energizing and encouraging. One of the first legacies that Bhagwan has left behind for us is the beautiful hospitals, the university, and this lovely Prashanti Nilayam. These are hallmarks of Bhagwan's love. These are symbols of unconditional love for mankind. The Satya Sai hospitals are hospitals that no human being can ever dare to dream to make. Only God can make these hospitals and no one else. I dare say from this dais, even the richest man on the face of this earth will think 100 times even before thinking of making such a hospital, where God made it just like that out of love for mankind. These are hallmarks where every poor man that leaves the portals of that hospital is going to go in the world and become an emissary of Bhagwan's love and tell the world that love works, truth works, and there is still compassion for man to be aspiring and man to be happy and peace. These hospitals will continue. These are divinely ordained. The doer is God, and therefore let no man be under an impression that he or she will be able to run or not run this hospital. They will run irrespective of whoever is there around or not there, because God himself will run these hospitals and run it for millions and millions of years. The Satya Sai University, a unique gift of God to man. And I often said, I'm very, very unfortunate for not being young enough to have joined the university when I came to Bhagwan for the first time. And therefore, if envy is permissible, I am envious of all my brothers and sisters who have joined this university all along. The beauty of this university is that such a university that tells man how to live life has never been created anywhere in the world. That tells the students how to stand upright with self-confidence like lions and not like sheep is never been created anywhere in the world at all. And I tell you, they have a role to perform, as Swami always said. These students and the alumni that have passed out, they've spread out all over the world, and they are like lamps. And one day, in the darkness of ignorance, suddenly we will see millions of lamps shining all over the world in the form of the alumni and students of the Satya Sai University, which is not far enough to see. These universities will continue. Let anybody say anything. The Satya Sai University is here to stay for millions of years and for millions of students to come to the portals. Nobody can ever touch these institutions created by Bhagwan. The Sri Satya Sai Ashram, Prashanti Nilayam. What a beautiful place. What a magnificent mansion of the Lord himself. And now, with his breathing samadhi right in front of us, this is a place where people will know what pure love is. People will know what love means. And if ever they want to experience love, they will come to Prashanti Nilayam and know what pure love is. And that is the beauty of this ashram and the lovely Sai Kulwant Hall. Yes, my brothers, as you mentioned so many incidents, to me this place has great memories. Memories with children, thousands of them, and Bhagwan and children together. And every time the smile, the face, it'll be remembered always, the walk of Bhagwan on the stage and Bhagwan looking down at children. Every program, every Ashadi that I was here was a memorable event. Last Ashadi here, just a few days ago, we missed him for a moment. But I tell you, after the few moments of the so-called ignorance of missing him, we felt him every moment, still watching us and still giving us those gifts and all those lovely smiles that we ever got. And that is a great experience. But these are still, again, material dimensions of Bhagwan's legacy. The far greater legacy, apart from these institutions which are going to be run by the Satya Sai Central Trust. And I dare say, this Satya Sai Central Trust has the name of Swami. It is absolutely a trust which is ordained with the responsibility of becoming instruments in the divine hands to fulfill the mission of Bhagwan as far as his institutions are concerned. But let us not forget that beyond the Satya Sai Central Trust, there is a huge Satya Sai Seva organization all over the world, which is the most unique organization in the world, never ever created by anyone else. The Satya Sai Seva organization is a miracle of mankind. It is an opportunity for man to know that God can do miracles, but even man in the form of God can also do miracles, is the hallmark of Satya Sai organization all over the world. No human being can inspire so many millions of people around the world to do selfless service and sacrifice their lives for the sake of love and for well-being of human beings. No human being can do this. Only God's love can do that, and that is what Swami has done to all of us all over the world. This organization is a very unique organization because it has no formality, it has no formal structure, but still it has the divine stamp of perpetuity of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, and it will be there for ages and ages to come. As long as mankind is looking for peace, succor and love, the Satya Sai organization will always remain there. But the best part of the legacy of the Satya Sai organization, brothers and sisters, is the unique fact where Bhagwan once said that I have nothing to do with this organization, and people were shocked when they heard this. But Bhagwan slowly said, yes, I have lent it my name because I want each one of you to use the platform of the Satya Sai organization to strengthen your one-to-one relationship with me, and therefore I have created this Satya Sai organization. Brothers and sisters, we haven't realized yet, or the realization hasn't dawned on the glory of the avatar of Satya Sai. Imagine the Satya Sai avatar in his physical form could achieve which nothing and nobody can achieve. And what was that? He gave every one of the millions of devotees a feeling that he was born only for him and for no one else. And such kind of a personal feeling he gave no one on the face of this earth. This only divine love can do, and nobody else can achieve this, brothers and sisters. 6 lakh workers in the Sai organization. Hundreds and thousands of villages being looked after. Millions of devotees and active workers in 135 countries. And imagine the great saga that Brother Leonardo Gutter has achieved in Argentina, and like that in many, many countries. The Satya Sai organization is vibrating all over the world, and nobody can shake the foundations of this organization, whatever they may do at all the face of this earth. But beyond the Sai organization, the greatest miracle, the greatest gift that Bhagwan has given us is the gift of love, the legacy of love, as we all saw the young brothers and brothers mentioning about the legacy of love. What a love! A love that inspires man to forget all the harm that others have done to him and to forget all the good that he has done to others. Only divine love can inspire man to achieve this state and nobody else. A love that inspires man to sacrifice every act of service without claiming any doership to it, because that's what Bhagwan wanted us to learn. Do everything and surrender to Bhagwan. Give up the sense of doership. No organization, no love can inspire this like Bhagwan's divine love can do. A love that can tell us that the seat of this love is inside each one of us. It is this love that when reflects is the truth. It is this love when put into action, it is dharma. And when you form this habit of putting this love into action at all times and putting this dharma into action, peace is a guaranteed feeling that Bhagwan has promised all of us. This divine saga of love, brothers and sisters, will be unflinchingly available to every humankind throughout the world. And this is the heritage that we are carrying forward in the next generation. This is what the next generation of young people who will come to Prasanthi Nilayam and will never have seen the face of or the physical form of Bhagwan, they will look to us and see how much of this love is being expressed by us to them, and then they will know what the beauty and grandeur of Satya Sai Avatar was. And beyond this, the manifestation of this love in the beautiful program of Sri Satya Sai Educare is going to remain for millions and millions of years from today, which will tell mankind how to live life, how to manifest this inner conscience. Bhagwan very simply told us, brothers and sisters, follow the conscience. Remember that I am talking to you from inside. Wherever we are in the world, Bhagwan will speak to us from inside us, and he will never give us up and never leave us at any point of time, is a guarantee that we must believe. Yes, come to Prashanti Nilayam every time that the volume of that voice, the volume of the inner voice, if it reduces anywhere in the world, come running to Prashanti Nilayam, bow down to this breathing samadhi, and back the volume of your inner voice will go up, is a guarantee of this samadhi that we can kick back as you will. What can I say at the end, brothers and sisters? Bhagwan brought us to him. Bhagwan gave us the experience of his divinity. But now is the time for us to reflect his glory. Now is the time for us to reflect his divinity in us as walking, talking reflections of the divine being wherever we are in the world, with only one hope, that at the end of all this, all of us will achieve the divine lotus feet and merge with him at the time and the place and on the occasion ordained by him. Let us not fear. Let us not worry, because worry is distrust to Bhagwan. Fear is disrespect to Bhagwan. Lack of confidence is lack of faith in Bhagwan. Let's remember this. And from tomorrow morning onwards, every time that we get up, look in the mirror and let us not tell ourselves that we are ordinary beings, we are anath, or we have been left without God, because God has not left us. Every time that you look in the mirror, look at yourself and enjoy only one Guru Mantra that Bhagwan gave us, that you also are God. I am God, I am God, I am God is a Guru Mantra that we need to follow from tomorrow and never forget about these. With these few words on Guru Purnima Day, it is the system, the Guru Dakshina. What is that Guru Dakshina that we need to offer to our Bhagwan? And that Guru Dakshina, brothers and sisters, is nothing but, as Bhagwan way back on 24th of July 1964 mentioned, that give me your unselfish and unwavering mind, and then I promise you that I will appear every time in my purest form and give you darshan. Jai Sai Ram.
May Bhagavan continue to inspire you, Brother Nimish Pandya. You have done a good job. And he spoke at length on the mission and the message of Bhagavan based on his vast experience in that state of Maharashtra. భగవంతుని యొక్క విశ్వ ప్రేమ గురించి వివరించి జ్ఞానాగ్ని మనలో నిలిచింది, ధుని రూపంలో నిలిచింది అని వివరించి భగవంతుని యొక్క చిరునామా దేవాలయములు కావు, మసీదులు కావు, దయగల హృదయమే దైవ మందిరము అని నా చిరునామా తెలియచేసినవాడు భగవాన్ బాబా అని చక్కగా తెలియచేయడం జరిగింది. పువ్వులెన్నో తెచ్చి ఇచ్చి పుచ్చుకొనడు మెచ్చబోడు, అది కాదు కావాల్సింది సుమా, నీ యొక్క భావములు కావాల్సింది అన్న విషయాన్ని మిత్రుడు నిమిష్ పాండ్య చక్కగా తెలియచేశారు. భక్తి అనగా తీర్థయాత్రలు కావు, పూజా పునస్కారములు కావు, యజ్ఞ యాగాదులు కావు. ఏది భక్తి? సుఖ దుఃఖములు సమముగా భావించి జీవించుటయే భక్తి నాకు. కీర్తి అపకీర్తి ఒక్క మూర్తిగా భావించుటే భక్తి పదము అన్నమాట నిమిష్ పాండ్య గారు తెలియచేశారు. ఈనాడు స్వామి యొక్క వాణి సనాతన సారథ ద్వారా అందరికీ అందుతూనే ఉన్నది. చక్కని మాట చెప్పాడు ఆయన. మనందరికీ తెలిసిన విషయమే. స్వామి యొక్క రాక వారి నిర్ణయము, వారి యొక్క సంకల్ప ప్రభావం ప్రకారమే మహాభినిష్క్రమణం కూడా జరిగింది. అందుకే ఒక మాట అన్నారు, కేవలము ఇలా ఎందుకు జరిగింది, ఇలా ఎందుకు జరిగింది అని మనం బాధపడుతున్నాం తప్ప ఒక్క మాట అన్నాడు ఆయన, యత్నముల్ మానుము, నీ ప్రయత్నాలు మానేయి, నీ వల్ల కాదు. యత్నముల్ మానుము, కాదు నన్ను పట్ట ఎట్టి ఘనునికైనా అన్నాడు భగవాన్ బాబా. ఎంత మేధావి అయినా సరే నన్ను అర్థం చేసుకోలేడు సుమా అన్నారు. కనుక స్వామి నిర్ణయం ప్రకారం అవతారం రావడం, మహావినిష్క్రమణ జరగడం జరిగింది. లీలా జన్మ అని భగవాన్ తనకు తాను వివరించున్నారు. రానున్న తరాన్ని ఏ రీతిగా తీర్చిదిద్దవలే అన్న విషయాన్ని నిమిష్ పాండ్యా ప్రస్తావించారు. బైబిల్లో వాక్యం చెప్పబడింది. క్రీస్తు భగవానుడు అంటాడు, నా యొక్క తత్వమును కానీ సందేశమును కానీ నా కార్యక్రమముల ద్వారా మీరు గమనించాలి అన్నాడు క్రీస్తు ప్రభు ఆనాడు. భగవాన్ బాబా వారి యొక్క మహత్తరమైన బృహత్తర కార్యక్రమములు విశ్వవ్యాపితములైనటువంటివి. భగవాన్ బాబా వారి యొక్క దివ్య శక్తి, అజేయమైన శక్తి, నిరుపమానమైన శక్తి, అద్వైత శక్తి ప్రపంచానికి ఈనాడు అర్థమైన విషయము, అందరికీ తెలిసినటువంటిది. అట్టి భగవానునికి నమస్కారములు అర్పిస్తూ, భగవాన్ మీరు మాతోటే ఉన్నారు, భక్తుల హృదయాలలో ఉన్నారు. ఏనాడైతే రోగులు, బాధితులు, పీడితులు, అన్నార్తులు, దాహార్తులు మీ శరణు పొంది ఉన్నారో వారి హృదయంలో మీరు ప్రతిధ్వనిస్తూనే ఉన్నారు. సత్యసాయి విశ్వవిద్యాలయం స్వామి స్థాపించారు. అందరికీ తెలిసిన విషయమే. కొత్త వారు ఎవరన్నా ఉంటే మీ కొరకు తెలియజేస్తున్నాను. ప్రపంచంలో ఎక్కడ ఏ పాఠశాల, ఏ ఉన్నత పాఠశాల, ఏ విశ్వవిద్యాలయము కూడా సత్యసాయి విశ్వవిద్యాలయంలో ఉన్నటువంటి విద్యా ప్రమాణములు కానీ, ఉచిత విద్య కానీ లేదు 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 అని ఘంటాపదంగా మనం చెప్పగలము. విద్యా విధానం అనేటువంటిది వేతన యాతన సంఘర్షణలో కూడుకున్నటువంటిది. ఉన్నత ప్రామాణిక జీవితాన్ని గడపాలని చెప్పేటువంటిది విద్యా విధానము. కానీ సత్యసాయి విద్యా విధానము జీవనోపాధి కొరకు కాదు సుమా, జీవిత పరమావధి కొరకు ఏర్పడింది అని చెప్పిన విషయాన్ని వారు వివరించారు. ఆశ్రమం గురించి నిమిష్ పాండ్యా గారు చెప్పారు. ఈ ఆశ్రమాన్ని గురించి ఆనాడు బ్లిడ్జ్ సంపాదకులు కరంజియా ఎంత చక్కగా చెప్పారో. ప్రభాత వేళ ప్రశాంతి నిలయం చేరిన మనకు ఆ వృక్షముల పైన కొలువు తీరి ఉన్న పక్షుల కిలకిలా రావములు వీణామృదంగ తాళములుగా లయతాళబద్ధముగా నగర సంకీర్తనకు చేరి ఆ ప్రజావాహినిలో, ఆ భక్త సందోహంలో మనం ప్రశాంతిలయంలో సంచరిస్తున్నప్పుడు నేను భగవంతుడు అన్న భావము ప్రతి వ్యక్తికి కలుగుతుంది అన్నాడు కరంజియా. అట్టి ప్రశాంతి నిలయాన్ని ప్రసాదించిన స్వామికి మనం నమస్కారములు తెలియచేయాలి. సత్య సాయి సేవా సంస్థల గురించి వారు ప్రస్తావించారు. అందరూ సత్యసాయి సేవా సంస్థల వారే. స్వచ్ఛందంగా, ఎట్టి విరాళములతో సంబంధం లేక, ధర్మమే ప్రధానంగా, తమకు తగిన విధానంగా సామాజిక పరిస్థితులకు అన్వయించి కృషి చేసి సేవయే సాధనగా భావించే నిర్మల, నిస్వార్థ, నిత్య సత్యమైన ఆధ్యాత్మిక సంస్థ, అంతర్జాతీయ సంస్థ శ్రీ సత్యసాయి సేవా సంస్థ అని మీకు తెలియజేస్తున్నాను. మరొక మాట చెప్పాడు ఆయన, కర్తృత్వ భావాన్ని వదిలిపెట్టమన్నారు. సత్యసాయి భక్తుడికి ఎవరికీ కూడా కర్తృత్వ భావం ఉండదు. కర్తృత్వ భావం ఉన్నవాడు ఇంకా అన్నం ఉడకవలసి ఉన్నదన్నమాట. నీవా నడిపించేవాడు భగవానుడు. నేనుంటిన్ రథంబు సంధింపుమనియే లెమ్ము ధనంజయ అన్నట్ట కృష్ణ పరమాత్మ. అదే రీతిగా మన నడిపించేవాడు భగవంతుడు. నీవా చేసేది ఏమీ చెయ్యలేము. అందువల్ల వసుధైక కుటుంబకం అన్న భావాన్ని అందించారు. ప్రశాంతి నిలయానికి రండి అనేటువంటి వాక్యాన్ని కూడా వినిపించాడు నిమిష్. ప్రశాంతి నిలయం గురించి స్వామి చెప్పారు. ఎందువల్ల ప్రశాంతి నిలయంలో మన బ్యాటరీస్ ఛార్జ్ అవుతాయి. ఆ బ్యాటరీస్ వీక్ అయిపోతాయి. మన యొక్క నిత్య దైనందిన జీవితంలో ఇక్కడికి వచ్చినప్పుడు ఛార్జ్ అవుతుంది, శక్తి వస్తుంది. ఈ మహాసమాధి అద్వైతానుభూతి, బ్రహ్మానుభూతి మనకందరికి కూడా అందిస్తుంది అని తెలియచేస్తూ వారి యొక్క ప్రసంగాన్ని మనసారా అభినందిస్తూ భక్తులందరి యొక్క హృదయాలను అలరించిందన్న నిశ్చితాభిప్రాయాన్ని తెలియజేస్తూ భగవాన్ బాబా అందరినీ కూడా కార్యకర్తలుగా తీర్చిదిద్ది సాయి ఎక్కడున్నాడు మా హృదయ దర్పణములో ప్రతిబింబిస్తున్నారు. స్వామి ఎక్కడున్నారు మన శ్వాసలో ఉన్నారు. స్వామి ఎక్కడున్నారు మన విశ్వాసంలో ఉన్నారు అన్న విషయాన్ని ఘంటాపదంగా అనుభవం ప్రాతిపదికగా పలకాలి అని విన్నవిస్తూ తరువాత కార్యక్రమానికి ఉపక్రమిద్దాము. విద్యార్థుల యొక్క భజన కార్యక్రమము ఇప్పుడు ఉన్నది. ఆ తరువాత హారతితో ఈ ఉదయ కార్యక్రమం సమాప్తం చెందుతుంది. కానీ అక్కడి నుంచి ఉంది చాలా ముఖ్యమైనది. ఈ మహాసమాధి సందర్శనం సమీపంగా చేసుకునే రీతిగా ఆ మహాసమాధిని దర్శించి మహదానందం పొందడానికి అవకాశాన్ని కల్పించారు. సేవాదళ వారు ఉన్నారు, వారు మనకు సహకరిస్తారు, మనం దర్శనం చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళవచ్చు. అయితే ఊరికే వరుసలో దర్శనం చేసుకుంటూ క్యూలో నిలబడి వచ్చేటువంటిది కాదు. మహాసమాధి భగవాన్ అక్కడ కూర్చొని ఉన్నారు. ఆధ్యాత్మిక ప్రకంపనలు మనలో ఉన్నాయి. ఆధ్యాత్మిక వాతావరణము, ఆధ్యాత్మిక స్పందన మన హృదయాల్ని తడుతూ ఉన్నది. కనుక విద్యార్థులు ఆసీనులై అక్కడ కూర్చొని ఉంటారు. అన్ని భాషలలో చక్కగా సత్యసాయి సంగీత విభావరి నిర్వహిస్తూ ఉండగా భక్తులందరూ వరుసలలో దర్శనం చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. నిజమైనటువంటి ఇలాంటి పుణ్యదినాన్ని, ఇట్టి మహద్భాగ్యాన్ని, ఇట్టి సౌభాగ్యాన్ని అందించినటువంటి భగవాన్ బాబా వారికి శతకోటి ప్రణామాలు అర్పించుకుంటూ భజన కార్యక్రమానికి ఉపక్రమిద్దాం. జై సాయిరామ్. అక్కడ కూర్చున్నాడు స్వామి. అక్కడ కూర్చున్న స్వామి ఒక్కసారి నుంచోవాలి. జై బలో భగవాన్ శ్రీ సత్యసాయి బాబాజీకి, జై బలో భగవాన్ శ్రీ సత్యసాయి బాబాజీకి, జై బలో భగవాన్ శ్రీ సత్యసాయి బాబాకి. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
कुलभूषण साई रामा, रघुकुलभूषण साई रामा, हे मदनाथ दया करो हे मदनांतक दया करो गुरुदेवा प्रिय देवा साई देवा दयामया विभूति सुंदर शशांक शेखर साई शंकर दया करो गुरुदेवा प्रिय देवा साई देवा दयामया गोकुलनंदन साई गोपाला रघुकुलभूषण साई रामा हे मदनांतक दया करो हे मदनांतक दया करो गुरुदेवा प्रिय देवा साई देवा दयामया मानस भजरे गुरु चरणम मानस भजरे गुरु चरणम दुस्तर भव सागर तरणम अति दुस्तर भव सागर तरणम गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय साई पिता रे माता साई, साई पिता रे माता साई, दीन दयाला दाता साई, दीन दयाला दाता साई, साई पिता रे माता साई, साई गुरु साई सखा सहोदर, साई गुरु साई सखा सहोदर, साई सत्य शिव साई सुंदर, 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 वेद उपनिषद गीता साई, वेद उपनिषद गीता साई, दीन दयाला दाता साई, दीन दयाला दाता साई, दीन दयाला दाता साई, दीन दयाला दाता साई, साई पिता रे माता साई, साई पिता रे माता साई, दीन दयाला दाता साई, दीन दयाला दाता साई, साई पिता रे माता साई, साई पिता रे माता साई, साई गुरु साई सखा सहोदर, साई गुरु साई सखा सहोदर, साई सत्य शिव साई सुंदर, साई सत्य शिव साई सुंदर, वेद उपनिषद गीता साई, वेद उपनिषद गीता साई, दीन दयाला दाता साई, दीन दयाला दाता साई, दीन दयाला दाता साई, साई पिता रे माता साई, सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम सबको दीजो, सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम सबको दीजो, सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम स्वरूप आप है, सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम स्वरूप आप है, सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम जीवन का मर्म है, सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम जीवन का मर्म है, शांति प्रेम जीवन का मर्म है, गुरुदेव 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 शांति प्रेम स्वरूप आप है। सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम जीवन का मर्म है। गुरुदेव 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 सत्य धर्म शांति प्रेम सबको दीजो। ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे। भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वर। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते। आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। आदिपिता गुरुदैवं मरियन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयु नीवे। नाथ ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाथ ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्राशयना। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओंकार रूप जैसी गोसाई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा। मंगल आरती अंगको मंगल आरती अंगको मंगल गिरिधारी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा। नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा। नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम। जय सद्गुरुदेवा। शांति शांति शांति। समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु। समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु। समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु। शांति शांति शांति। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
ఓం శ్రీ సాయిరామ్. ఈ గురు పౌర్ణమి పర్వదినాన అఖిలాండ కోటి బ్రహ్మాండ నాయకులు సర్వాంతర్యామి భగవాన్ శ్రీ సత్యసాయీశ్వరుల దివ్య చరణారవిందములకు అనంతకోటి సాష్టాంగ ప్రణామములు సమర్పిస్తూ రేడియో సాయి గ్లోబల్ హార్మనీ తరఫున ఒక శుభవార్తను భక్తులందరికీ తెలియజేయడానికి ఎంతో ఆనందిస్తున్నాము. ఇప్పటి వరకు వారానికి 2 గంటలు మాత్రమే ప్రసారం చేస్తూ వచ్చిన తెలుగు కార్యక్రమాలను ఈ పరమ పవిత్రమైన గురు పౌర్ణమి పర్వదినాన ఉదయం 6:15 నుండి భగవాన్ బాబావారి దివ్యానుగ్రహ ఆశీస్సులతో ప్రతిరోజు 24 గంటలు ప్రసారం చేయడం ప్రారంభించాము. రేడియో సాయి వెబ్సైట్ radiosai.org ద్వారా భక్తులు ఈ ప్రసారాలను వినవచ్చు. ఈనాడు సాయి కుల్వన్ సభా మంటపంలో జరుగుతున్న ఈ మహత్తరమైన కార్యక్రమాన్ని కూడా ప్రపంచంలో నలుమూలలా ఉన్న సాయి భక్తులు రేడియో సాయి ప్రత్యక్ష ప్రసారాల ద్వారా వినడం జరుగుతోంది. ఈ రోజు నుండి ప్రతిరోజు ప్రశాంతి నిలయం సాయి కుల్వన్ సభా మంటపంలో నిర్వహింపబడే వేద పారాయణ మరియు భజన కార్యక్రమాలు కూడా ప్రత్యక్ష ప్రసారం చేయబడతాయి. నేటి నుంచి రేడియో సాయి కార్యక్రమాలను మొబైల్ ఫోన్ సౌకర్యం ద్వారా కూడా భక్తులు వినవచ్చు. భగవాన్ బాబావారి దివ్యాశీస్సులతో రేడియో సాయి స్టూడియోలో పనిచేస్తున్న వారందరికీ ఇదొక ప్రత్యేకమైన రోజు. ఎందుచేతనంటే ఈ సంవత్సరం ఫిబ్రవరి నెలలో ప్రొఫెసర్ జి వెంకట్రామన్ గారు ఈ తెలుగు ప్రసారాలను గురు పౌర్ణమి నుండి ప్రారంభించడానికి స్వామివారి అనుమతిని ఆశీర్వాదాలను పొందారు. నాడు స్వామికి నివేదించుకున్న విధంగానే ఈనాడు 24 గంటలు సాయి ప్రేమవాణిని ఈ తెలుగు ప్రసారాల ద్వారా భక్త కోటికి అందించగలగడం మాకెంతో సంతృప్తిని ఆనందాన్ని కలగజేస్తోంది. భగవాన్ బాబావారి దివ్య అవతారోద్యమంలో ఉడతా భక్తిగా పాల్గొనే మహద్భాగ్యాన్ని మాకు ఎంతో దయతో ప్రసాదించిన స్వామికి హృదయపూర్వకమైన కృతజ్ఞాంజలులు సమర్పిస్తున్నాము. ఈ ప్రసారాల రూపకల్పనకు తమ సహాయ సహకారాలను ఉత్సాహ ప్రోత్సాహాలను అందించిన ప్రొఫెసర్ కామరాజు అనిల్ కుమార్ గారికి, ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ రాష్ట్ర సత్యసాయి సేవా సంస్థల అధ్యక్షులు శ్రీ ఎస్జి చలం గారికి మరియు ప్రముఖ వక్త స్వామివారి చిరకాల భక్తులైనటువంటి శ్రీ విఎస్ఆర్ మూర్తి గారికి మా హృదయపూర్వక కృతజ్ఞతలు తెలియజేసుకుంటున్నాము. త్వరలో ఇతర భాషలలో కూడా రేడియో సాయి ప్రసారాలను ప్రారంభించడానికి స్వామి ఆశీస్సుల కొరకై ప్రార్థిస్తున్నాము. జై సాయిరామ్.